Hello, people. I'm whispering because I'm out in the backyard here. I am at my mother-in-law's house. My wife has come up from Florida, and this was supposed to be our vacation to go to the cabin, but I got problems at my house, which is, 40 miles south of here, and my wife is up here, but we're not even able to spend much time together. I got my problems back 40 miles south. Her mother is in the hospital, so we've been going there and visiting, and we got like 5 days we can spend together. Then I gotta go back. I gotta go back to work because I need money. But I have finished a book, The Burning of Washington, The British Invasion of 1814. And this was a fantastic book. I've been really kind of hammering on the reading while I'm up here. I don't have much else to do. And this is an example of a book that I enjoyed so much that I didn't stop and make a whole lot of notes. This is a fairly new book. It's written in 1998, published in 1998, 236 pages, and the author's name is Anthony S. Pitch. And he's a great author because he kind of gets right down to business. There's an opening chapter on the causes of the War of 1812. And I've got a few books on 1812 now. 6, 7. I've always been looking for a good account of the burning of Washington. This is a second or third account. There's a guy, his name is Harry Smith, Sir Harry Smith. He gets mentioned a little bit in this book. I wish it would have been more, because Sir Harry Smith had quite the career. He fought against Napoleon's troops in the Peninsular War, which I cannot find a good book about. He fought here in the United States in the War of 1812. Then he went to South Africa and he fought in some of the Bantu Wars. And I think he went a little crazy there. Harry Smith is supposed to have rescued a 16-year-old damsel in the middle of a battle in Spain, and he falls in love with her and marries her. She goes with him everywhere, and there is a city in South Africa called Ladysmith, and he named that after his wife. But enough about Harry Smith. This is just a perfect book. A short chapter on the lead up to the war. A little bit of information about people in the United States that were against the war. And this is in Philadelphia, where the editor of a newspaper is anti-war. And the people in the town just form a mob and pull down his building, and they end up beating these people half to death. One of them, Harry Lighthorse Lee, is General Lee's father, and he gets beat half to death. But let's get this done. I can hear somebody's voice over there. Third paragraph, page 26. I have left the dog inside, and I heard the dog bark. So I'm going to try and zip through this. Third paragraph, page 26. I don't know why I singled out this one. Residents who stayed put in Washington could enjoy local theater, though horse racing, begun in Georgetown in 1769, was the most festive entertainment, with Congress often adjourning early to give time to those who had to walk the 4 miles to the enclosure. However, visiting Britons were unimpressed. Charles William Jansen, crossing the Atlantic in search of speculative business ventures, found the city grotesque, its avenues pompous, and his hotel another failed private adventure housing the lowest order of Irish. That's why I singled that out, because, I don't know, I just get a kick out of how the British didn't like the Irish. The book had a lot of first-hand accounts. Sometimes the author just takes a sentence from a first-hand account and puts it in here. And I love first-hand accounts. A lot of excerpts from letters that people wrote back and forth. And then the bottom of 117, there it is, 2 paragraphs. When the advance units entered the chief executive's mansion, this is Madison's mansion, they found it deserted and quiet. All the staff had fled, leaving the dinner table handsomely laid for 40 people, and the rooms temptingly open to thieves and vandals. The Britons were famished, thirsty, and tired. Their long day had begun with the forced march to Bladensburg many hours before the midday battle, after which they had slogged another half-dozen miles into Washington. But the sight of such abundant food and wine exhilarated them, and they feasted inelegantly, gorging themselves at the banquet table as if it held the most prized spoils of war. Never was nectar more grateful to the palates of the gods than the crystal goblet of Madeira and water I quaffed at Mr. Madison's expense, Lieutenant Scott remembered. The advance party, including Cockburn and Ross and companies from the 21st and 85th Foot Regiment, poured wine from cut-glass decanters to drink to the health of their Prince Regent and the success of His Majesty's land and naval forces. Someone poured wine into a silver cup and toasted, "Peace with America and down with Madison." Them coming into a room and finding a table laid out with food is just fascinating to me. The book ends with some of the fighting after they burned Washington, and this book just goes into building by building what they do in Washington. And it ends with the British defeat at Baltimore, and then they get back on their ships, and it actually gives me an account of the fighting at New Orleans, which was crazy stupid. I don't know why the British even tried to do that. And the war was actually over. The peace treaty had been signed. That's just at that time, it took news to travel a really long time. So all the fighting in New Orleans was just a giant waste of time. Thanks for watching.